I was wrong. Reading is a waste of time. Now, before you come for me in the comments, let me explain. Reading for the sake of reading feels productive, but oftentimes for entrepreneurs, it's just disguised procrastination. So of course, not all reading at all times is unnecessary. But for entrepreneurs, the only time that reading really matters is when you're reading with a purpose to solve a specific problem that you're facing in your business. And understanding that shift changed something for me. You see, for the past 2 or 3 years, I've been reading 1 to 2 books every month. And my pool of knowledge has expanded. For sure, but only a handful of books actually helped me advance my business for where I was at the time, even though these were great business books. And looking back, I realized that I was reading to feel productive, but not to solve the problems right in front of me. And that's why now, as part of my daily routine, I only read when it follows the guidelines that I'm about to share with you. And to give you a hint, the results have been much better. Before we begin, who am I? Well, I'm David Michelson. I've helped my last couple of clients make a little over $9,000, and it's my mission to transform entrepreneurship education. Why? To make entrepreneurship available to everyone. Why do you say that? Well, I had a real hard time getting started, and I don't want anyone else to go through the same. So, if you want to learn more about that, check out the description, but let's get into the video. So here's the truth. Most entrepreneurs waste time with reading in 3 different ways. They finish a book, feel motivated, but then they put it down and they do nothing about it. The second group, well, they read the book, but they use it as procrastination. For instance, instead of making sales calls, they're just researching. And the third group, well, they read for inspiration for their solutions, which can be fun, but it doesn't necessarily solve the issues that they're facing. So in short, reading itself isn't the problem. It is treating books like a substitute for actions. So saying all of that, when does it actually make sense to read? Does it even make sense to read? And yeah, of course it does. It makes sense to read when you need a specific skill, if you need to become good at selling or marketing or hiring. It makes sense to read when you're stuck on a problem that you can't just brute force with volume, but something intricate where you really want to tap into many years of experience. And thirdly, it makes sense to read when you're just trying to learn from someone who's already done it. To give you an example, it's kind of like fixing your car. If your tire's flat, you don't read the entire manual of the car's history. You read the part about fixing the flat tire. But of course, that brings us to our second question. Then what books should you then prioritize to read during those moments where you read? Well, the answer to this is pretty simple. Pick books that solve the problem that you're dealing with. If you don't know what problem you're dealing with, then you need to identify the problem first. Then for that moment, books will not be the solution anyway. So if you're struggling with sales, read a book on sales, not productivity hacks, not philosophy, and at that point, definitely not the Roman Empire. Although, the Romans did know a thing or two. And you know this, but your business doesn't need random trivia. It needs practical problem-solving knowledge. And so making that mistake is why I ended up having to learn the lesson that the right book at the wrong time is just entertainment, whether you like to hear it or not. To give you even further examples, it's kind of like when you're cooking dinner. If you're starving now, it does not make sense to start a slow 6-hour roast. You make something quick that solves the hunger right in front of you. And so now you know when to read, you know how to pick your books, but how do you actually read with a purpose? What does that actually mean? Well, a simple framework is the 3 A's: apply, act, and adjust. Apply what you learn immediately. Take action after each chapter. Don't wait until the whole book is done. And lastly, adjust your behavior, your actions based on the feedback or the data that you get after doing the application. And so to put that 3A framework into practice, it's kind of like going to the gym. You don't sit at home and watch tutorial videos for multiple months before you get started. How do you do a push-up? How do you do a bench press? How do you do a leg press? How do you do a squat? And then you do it. You do a repetition and then you adjust based on how well you did. And then you do it over and over and over. You don't read the entire book and then go, I wonder what I could use from this. And then even just put the book down. Now use every chapter. Start immediately. And if you just stop the video here and did this, you would progress and learn so much faster. If you get triggered by this, remember that this is a video for entrepreneurs. And if you are an entrepreneur or considering to be one, then know that your time will be limited. And so this is not a video trying to annoy you or irritate you, but it's a video of how you can use your time and your resources most effectively. There's no utilization to just having 20 books around, which you haven't read or haven't applied, just so you can say you have those 20 books. Internally, what do you get from that? Nothing. So to summarize everything, so read with a purpose, only prioritize reading when it actually is to solve a problem. Choose books that help you solve that problem that you had identified. And lastly, act on the knowledge that you get immediately. Try it, test it. If it doesn't work, learn from it, move on. Don't read the entire book and then think you know it just because you finished the book. That's not how it works. Books aren't trophies, they're tools. And if you do this in the right way, well, the right tool at the right time can change anything. So imagine if you could spend half an hour, 1 hour reading about the right thing instead of spending 5 hours reading the right chapter or half of the book just to get that small change that you needed for the place you're at with your business. If you found this useful, please hit the subscribe. It helps me put out more free content like this for new and aspiring entrepreneurs. And if you want help in getting started on your own, well, I have a link in the description for a free course. You can join and it'll have the entire process covered, from choosing your skill, getting started, what to add in your service, how do you onboard customers, deliver, how do you even get customers, and then making the delivery and getting the referrals, the testimonials. Everything is in there. It's taken care of, completely free. As always, of course, I will see you next week. And more importantly, stay disciplined.